Good morning, everybody. I'm going to turn my fan down real quick. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. I forgot I had that up a little higher. And sometimes it blows into the mic because it's facing that side. And I realized that yesterday it was on medium. I was like, oh, I didn't turn it all the way down. But good morning. Good morning. Welcome. And happy Wednesday. It is our midweek cooldown. What is a midweek cooldown, you ask? You see that through some of my streams and probably like, what is a midweek cooldown? Midweek cooldown is just where we kind of stop for a moment. We're mid through we're partway through the week. Depending on how your week is going, it could be that your week is just going absolutely crazy good. Midweek cooldown. Stop and embrace that goodness. Be grateful for it. Or maybe your week's going horrible. Stop and find the things that you're grateful for. Find the things that you're grateful for. If you're having a rough time at your job, instead of focusing on the negative, just be grateful that you have that job, because there's a lot of people out there who don't. The job market really is pretty poor. Just focus on those things. That's what a midweek cooldown is. It's where you're cooling down to what's going on around you, and you're centering yourself, and you're being grateful. So that way the rest of the week you finish strong. And then when we come into our rest period, the Sabbath, you're able to just relax and enjoy time with yourself, your family, your pets. You know, do what you enjoy. No chores, no work. You know, if your chores are not work, hey, go for it. I'll go in the garden. That's not work to me. That's a hobby. If I'll do dishes, that's not work to me. That right there, if you've got music going, it could become something fun. I like to be clean and tidy. It's not work. It's not conventional work, at least. It allows you to embrace those moments where we do have that rest. And it allows us not to forget that, you know, we've got a lot of good going for us this week. It's just a time to stop and just be grateful for everything that you have. I'm going to get a drink just real quick. So that is what the midweek cooldown is. It's just for us to be grateful for everything that we have. This week, I am grateful for, like, the main thing I'm grateful for every day, of course, is that I'm alive. I woke up this morning. That, again, in itself is a blessing. Because there are people out there who did not wake up this morning. Oh, did I not do this yet? Or do I still need to do it? Oh, I didn't do it yet. Cranberry bog. Okay. So that's what the cool week is. The cool down is. We just stop and say, okay, what are we grateful for today? So grateful for the day. I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for the opportunity to do what I want to do today. What I want to do is I get to do schoolwork to increase and better my. Actually, I will take that because it's Fantasyland. To better my education. I am learning a new language, so that way I can better communicate with one of my best friends, one of my closest friends, and his girlfriend. I am grateful for the opportunity to call the people that I hold dear to my heart. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful that they are in my life. I'm grateful that God watches over them, that they're healthy, that they're doing well, that they're prospering. Sometimes it gets rough, sometimes it's hard, but they're doing good. I'm grateful that my sister is now talking to me after being quiet for years and years because of her ex. I'm grateful that I was able, to speak my truth to my family on some traumas that have been holding me back. I am just grateful. I'm grateful for all of that. I'm grateful for my pets. I'm grateful for my my dogs, Addie and Jax. I'm grateful for my husband so much. He is an amazing person. And I'm grateful for the opportunity and the love that God gives me. I'm grateful that He welcomes us in and that He forgives and He loves us. I'm grateful for just everything. Every little thing that I have in my life, I feel like is a gift from God. Every little thing. And I'm grateful for even the hardships. I'm grateful for Him putting me in the position. I'm grateful for Him meeting my husband. It was not easy. It was extremely difficult. But I'm grateful for it because it helps both of us grow in ways that I don't think that we would have grown if we hadn't met each other. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for I guess I should take that. I'm grateful for the hard. I'm grateful for the good. I'm grateful for... Oh, there must be something over here. I'm just grateful for everything. Take care of this mutant here, because I got a fish. I got a fish right here. So that is what the cooldown is. That's what the midweek cooldown is. It's just taking the time for yourself to step back and be grateful. If you're having a good week, just be grateful. If you're having a bad week, be grateful. So that's what the cooldown is. I thought I would explain that because I don't think I've ever did. I burnt myself cooking my father-in-law's dog's breakfast. Who is not a human. He's not a dog food dog. He doesn't eat dog food. He likes people food, so I make him. I made him some breakfast and dinner and lunch for today, and then it'll be enough for tomorrow. It's just like, since my mother-in-law passed away, Chuku has been a big part in helping Pops heal and mourn. And Chuku gets human food. He gets like chicken, he gets beef. Not bad human food, but human food, grade food. That's just what he eats. He's not much of a dog food eater. Like, he'll nibble here and there, but he just doesn't like dog food. So Pops will just make him food. So he's away for a week. He didn't want to take Chucky with him because where he's going is pretty hot. He's going up to one of his cabins, and he fishes and stuff, and he can't take Chucky fishing because of the wildlife, and he's afraid Chucky will get lost. So Chucky would have to stay home. And he doesn't have air conditioning in the cabin, and it was going to get pretty hot this week. It's usually not very hot there, but it was getting really hot, and he was worried that Chucky would be too hot. It wouldn't be fair to him, so Chucky was like, he didn't like it, but Pops was like, Chucky, you gotta stay home. It's for your own good. So with him being here, I went ahead and I was like, okay, I can take care of him, and he got chicken and then beef today, and tomorrow will be beef, and then I gotta figure out what to make for the rest of the week until Pops gets home. We'll see. We have to go to the store to go grocery shopping anyway, so we might pick him up something extra special because he's been really he's been pretty sad since Pop's been gone. Those two are pretty inseparable. Inseparable? I don't know. That's the word I'm thinking of. Bear with me. I just woke up not too long ago. Hubby told me to just take a little extra time. So I clicked off my alarm, and I went back to bed. I didn't sleep well last night at all. For some reason, I had some weird dreams, and then I was like waking up constantly, and it's just like almost every hour. Something is just stirring within me, and I'm not sure what it was. So But I was exhausted, and from yesterday too, because I spent a lot of time yesterday. I spent from just a little tiny area helping Pops organize some things. A little area took me from 10 o'clock until 1:30, and it was a small area to organize, and it was just a little rough. And then today after the stream, after I talked to Hubby after I've got more to do, so I'll start that at 10 o'clock again. But I think this is going to take me pretty much all day to do, to get to organize. But I'm happy to do it. It gives me something to do, but I was just exhausted yesterday because the day before I wasn't feeling very well. We'll see. We'll see what happens today. But I think, and we have the gym today too, so I'm like, oh boy, I'm just gonna be so tired. I'm gonna be exhausted. And then I made my breakfast and I haven't even eaten anything. I ate my yogurt. I ate the yogurt because it's like 15 grams. It's like a half cup of yogurt. And then I've got blackberries, some strawberries, and then I made me a cheese quesadilla with pepper jack cheese and green onion. I chopped up some green onion and a small little green bell pepper that fell off a bell pepper plant that we have in the garden area. It's just a little one. I think it was done because it just like fell off, so I'm like, okay. So I just chopped that up after I wash it and just put it in my quesadilla. It tastes really good though. But I ate my yogurt first, and that's pretty much it. And I've got my blackberries and strawberries and everything else to eat. My last fish, yeah. And it is another sawgill. I mean, this is like really ick. Really ick. On this character, I don't catch a lot of stuff. Like, I've got a lot of fishing things to do. I got my dailies and weeklies already done. At rank 98, 2 more levels. Ooh, and I'm done with the board, and I could just start working towards the 150 if I want to. I do want to, because if you get to the 150, you get some superb bait. And I think the superb bait are what I'm going to be able to use to catch these guys. Because these right here, absolutely not easy to catch. I didn't catch any of the oxalotls on this account for June. My apologies. I forgot to turn off my sound. I didn't catch any on this account for June. I just realized that now. I'm like, oh no, I didn't get the axolotl for June. Now I gotta wait a whole entire year in order to catch that. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm really behind on this one. I've only caught one glowing fish. I haven't caught any of these really. I've got one more of the ambushers to catch, but then I need the zapper and then the axolotl to get the Mark III reel. I really want that one because that one helps improve. And then I've got another thing I want to do on this one is get the reel. I remember which one it is. I think it's like the advanced drag is a good one, but I'll go to seasons, and what I wanted, if you go all the way back here to 150, is you got the superb boots. You get this superb boot is like you catch the big guys on, so I'm like, yeah, I want that. And I think that like the caps would be nice. Yeah, you get 5,000 caps for 75 tickets. That's not too bad if you need caps. But I think that the one thing that I want is going to be superb boot, and on this character I want the perk coins, and then some legendary modules probably. So I probably will continue to just rank up and get those tickets, because I'm almost done. I just have this page left to get. It is very expensive for everything on here. I don't understand why they make this page so expensive when everything else is not. Like, this entire page costs probably the same as this houseboat and then this letter together for this entire page. So 2 items versus we got 6, 7, 8 items. That's nuts. I don't understand why they make this so crazy with like why make this so expensive? And this stuff is no better than the other stuff. The houseboat's nice, but the houseboat we get this. We got this right here. We got the survival tent. That's good. This, I don't think I will use the houseboat. We might. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna get it, but the bottle octopus, I think is crazy. That should be no more than to me, no more than 75 tickets. For like all of this stuff should be no more than 75 tickets. I can see like the statue being a little bit more, but this shouldn't be. This should be at 80 at max. This should be the price of that at max. This shouldn't be 100 tickets because it's just like the other ones. That should be at least like 35 tickets. That should be like free because all the other ones, or at least 15 or 20 tickets. Like they really do get you on this last page. So that way when you get to this page, you have to really work your butt off to get those. Like they really do force it. It makes it not fun because you're grinding. It's annoying. It's annoying. And I know I'm just like spewing out words because it's like, okay, you're complaining. Not really complaining. It's just more of just like I don't agree with. It's just not an agreement. Complaining would be like, oh, I'm not. I guess it is a little bit of a complaint then. Yeah. I have the opportunity. I'm just like not in agreement with the prices. I'm not gonna say it's a complaint because of that. You know, blackberry. Ooh, that one was a tart one. I guess we'll do our daily devotional. Because the stream is like, we're already like halfway done already. I started it a little late. That was my fault because I didn't pay attention when I was cooking food for Cheeky. And I was up there playing with the cats. And we have a kitty cat that is, she hasn't gone in to get fixed yet. She was a rescue. She was from a lady who had her, and she was abused. So it's taken a little bit of time for Pixie, especially for women, because she doesn't. The person who abused her was a woman. So to be able to trust me, it took a while. But she came in season. She hasn't been fixed yet. Other cats are. And she got outside. We don't know how she got outside, but she was in season, and she ended up slipping out. We tried to find her as fast as possible. We could not locate where she was. Comes to find out that she was in the garage. And when she came back in the house, she was no longer in season. An ultrasonic generator. I don't know what that is. That's the one I picked up. I think I got that from... Yeah, I think I got that one from the raid. Because the rest of these are from here. I was hoping to have the reel, but it's okay. The other day, I was playing with a really good friend of mine, and he asked if we want to do raids, and I was like, oh, gosh, I don't know, I'm really bad at raids. And then I was telling him about another friend of mine that can get through them pretty quickly. He's got a couple of friends that just took them down so fast. And I was like, I mean, if they were on, I would say yeah, because I think that with all of us, we could do it, like with at least 3 people. Even just the 3 of us, we'd be able to do it. And it was funny because I was gonna hop off. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna hop off, and all of a sudden, I see that person on. I'm like, oh, hold up, let's see if we can get a raid in at least. So we were doing raids. We got to the stake, and then I had to go because that's when hubby got off. It took us a while to get through it. So hubby hopped off, and hubby got home, and I had to hop off because we had to go to the grocery store. So I didn't get to finish, and then neither of them were on yesterday, so I didn't finish the raid. So we still were at the very last one, which is the giant snake that looks like Jafar when he transforms into the Cobra. That's what it looks like. And this right here is for the meat week. This is the meat week. This is the meat cook. So that's what you see. Get their attention. There we go. Oh, there's a ball just like rolling. Pick it up. I'm like all decked out in pink. It's funny because the fishing one I did on my other account, and then this account is what I did like the bloom. During it's a seasonal. The big bloom is a seasonal thing. Defeat boost raid rad toads. There we go. So that's what this is. Some more rad toads. You don't get prime meat from the animals, you get them from the events. And a lot of people thought you get them from the animals. I will take up all of the stuff though, because got some Sonales. Snellies give you a good amount of stuff, so I definitely urge you to harvest stuff from them. You get antiseptic and I think acid. Defeat the vernal wave. I think this is ghouls. It makes no sense that it's little ghouls. And that's it. That was it. Just 2 animals. It makes no sense. You get more on the first couple of waves than the final wave. I'm gonna check out this location over here. You know, the glowing spot over here. I've been looking for a location to build in the ash heap. But I might actually change to over here in the Toxic Valley. There's a settler journeyman.
We really need to clean up around. On your way to something? Headed to Foundation? I need some stim packs. Oh, that's great. How helpful. Thank you so much. I'll be sure word you.
That wasn't a lot, but those interactions will increase your standing. You know, I think right here would be a really good spot to camp. It's got that. This vent is the only thing that's toxic. Right here. Over here is not. That looked like a fish jumping out. It was just like a. Like back here is not toxic. And you have that as an entrance. Yeah, I'm gonna mark this on my map. I think I could put a nice camp in this location. It's not a fishing camp, but you know. Well, you might be able to fish over here. Is this the water? No, it's dry. This spot actually looks pretty neat. Alright, so my arrow's pointed exactly where I want it. I'm gonna put my little marker. Try to right there. There we go. Got my marker. There's not really anywhere to fish. Let's see. Actually, yeah, there you can fish right here. You could fish right here. The toxic. That's not far from the camp. What I'm assuming happened out here is mud. Lots of mud. Like all this is like radioactive mud. It's like the same thing that happened. There's like an island off the coast of like Indonesia, or it's part of Indonesia, and they're like drilling for natural gas. And once that happens, it dislodged something, and they must have busted through a chamber that leads to the volcano that's like miles away. I think the volcano is like 8 miles or 10 miles away. But it just like or maybe it's further, I don't know. But it leads to that volcano, and it just started spewing up mud. Like they said, it went several meters in the sky. Like it was up. It was like gushing out like a volcano would, and it's just like covered the like villages completely up to like over the buildings. Everything's buried underneath all this mud, and it's you can see it's like really hot and molten mud. Like when you look out across it, you can see the parts where it's dry, but you have the part that's still wet and it's bubbling up because it's so hot. Oh my goodness gracious, it's horrible. Like the area, when you look at it, the area is massive. It just started as this little area, it just grew because it's endless, and it's still growing today. No amount of effort that they've had to correct it has been successful. I'm gonna switch to my other account, so I'm gonna leave the world, go to the main menu. But it's awful, and that's what that reminded me of. That reminded me of that location. So today's devotional we're in Romans, chapter 5, verse 3 through 4. And not only that, but we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. In Romans chapter 5, verse 3 through 4, we are reminded that we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, character, hope. This passage urges us to reflect on transformative nature of our struggles. Within the Christian doctrine, suffering is not merely to be endured, but embraced as a catalyst for growth. Alright, I'm at my camp here. We'll let this load in. Patience is often tested in the face of hardships. Yet, it is within these trials that God molds us. Each challenge we face is an opportunity to develop perseverance. This perseverance, in turn, strengthens our character, aligning us closer to the image of Christ. Our character, built on the foundation of patience, leads us to hope. A hope that does not disappoint because it is rooted in God's promise. In the fast-paced world of 21st century, patience is a virtue that often seems elusive. We seek instant gratification and quick solutions. But God calls us to a different rhythm, one of trust and endurance. It's about understanding that our timeline may not align with God's perfect plan. Our transformation isn't instant. It's a gradual process that requires trust in God's timing. Consider the relationships in your life. How often do we expect immediate change or quick fixes? Rather than rushing, God invites us to patiently nurture and invest in these relationships. It is through this patience that transformation occurs, not only within others, but within ourselves. And on the end of the devotional, there's this reflection where it's like you can reflect on this. Where in your life are you being called to exercise patience? How can you embrace the challenges you face today as opportunities for growth, trusting that God is at work in the midst of your struggle? Let this be a time to seek God's guidance, allowing Him to shape your heart, to shape your character and instill hope in your heart. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with open hearts, seeking your guidance and building trust within our relationships. We know that trust is a cornerstone of any strong bond, and we ask for your wisdom to nurture it with patience and understanding. Help us to be honest and transparent, just as you are with us, so that our relationships may reflect your love and truth. Lord, grant us the courage to forgive past hurts and the strength to rebuild what has been broken. May our actions be guided by your word, and may we always strive to be trustworthy in all our dealings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. This hit really close home today because I've been thinking a lot about the patience that I have for the people in my life and relationships. Not only that with my husband, but with other family members. Like, I'm having a really hard time with my dad and my brother. And the patience that you have, like, one thing that I struggle with is that when you give someone so many times, like, it's so long. Like, I'm not talking about, a week, 2 weeks. I'm talking about years. And sometimes it does take years. But there is a point where one thing to remember is that when God says that people are removed from your life, that doesn't always mean that it's going to be permanent. So one thing that I did with my brother and my dad specifically, because they're the ones who've been really on this downward journey that I can't understand why they're on this, like why they're going down this road, especially my dad. He's not the man that I remember as a child. He's doing things that, like, he's pretty much becoming the man that he didn't ever want to be. He always vowed to be, better than how he was raised, and now he's just going to that that part, you know? And it's like who vowed? I remember him always talking about how he would not be that kind of man. He would not turn into that type of person. And he's slowly turning into that type of person. And you've got to exercise that patience and stuff, but still keeping your distance. I'm not allowing them to use me. I'm not allowing them to keep my, like, to siphon my energy. But it's just a matter of I'm here when you need me. I'm here when you need to talk. And I'll always be here, but I'm not going to allow you to just come in and try and destroy, because this just seems like that's what they want to do. They just want to destroy, and I don't understand that thinking. I don't understand that thinking. Like, why would you want to destroy? We're supposed to be building. And I've been trying to exercise patience, knowing that the changes that what they need to do isn't going to be instant. But with my brother, I know that his ex had been trying for 2 years to see some change, and there's been absolutely no change. And there's just a point where you have to separate yourself from that person to protect you, especially when it gets very volatile. And in this instance, my brother has gotten physical. So for her safety, she's got to remove herself. And then who wants to come back and apologize to me for what he has done? And then he immediately expects us to welcome him back with open arms, like nothing has happened. And I'm like, there's been a difference. There is a difference between forgiving somebody and then allowing them back into your close life, you know? I honestly don't trust him in a physical sense, because he has had no change. Like, there's been no change whatsoever. And I'm not talking about big drastic changes, that I understand. But he hasn't had any, he hasn't tried to make any effort to stop with the negative behavior. He hasn't tried to walk with Christ. He hasn't tried anything. He is just simply saying sorry and then continuing to do the same behavior, which means talking down to you, yelling, screaming, and then it comes to like shoving and pushing and physical, and that is just not, that is not okay. And in those instances, it is very important. I was like, you have to be able to protect yourself. You know, God isn't going to want you to be in a position where you're putting yourself in danger. So there is something that you have to keep in mind when it comes to this, that you can give grace, but it says that there's danger, but I don't see where. I don't see where. Yeah, I'm just gonna fast travel away. I don't see where it's at. We're gonna have Graham's meat cook here in a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna head my way back up over here to I'll go to the Moonshiner Shack and then go to where these people are. They're AFK. And I struggle with that anyway. I do struggle with it, because you take these verses here and you're like, okay, so where's that fine line where we have to distance ourselves? And it's keeping that communication open. I told them that if you want to talk to me, I do expect you to talk to me respectfully. Yesterday he started to yell and scream at me. When I called my mom. I wanted to talk to them. It's been rather hot here, so checked in with them and everything, and was talking to them about like those neck fans that you can put because it's really hot there, and they were going to go grocery shopping into another town. Oh, I think I'm glitched. So that was oh, excuse me. That was it, and then I was talking about how I was like really disappointed because my brother had called on Sunday and apologized, and I didn't understand why he felt the need that immediately after just to start talking about me behind my back, and then telling the family that he was mad that they quote unquote accepted me back like I had been exiled. And I was just like, I don't think I was exiled. I did leave on my own accord. I moved to be with my now husband. So I was telling them, I was just like, I was really disappointed because he had called, and I thought, okay, this is going to be a good step towards, he's admitting, but he just went back to his old ways immediately after, the same day, to how he always is. And it's just, I was like so disappointed. So I told my mom, I was talking to her, and my brother had walked in and just started yelling and screaming at me and making excuses for himself of why he said what he said. And I was like, I'm sorry, there's no excuse. And then he started to yell and scream. I was like, I rebuke the demon that's speaking to me. I was like, I am not going to talk to you until you start to talk to me respectfully. I will not speak to you if you're yelling at me. And he just stormed off instead of checking himself. Said, okay, I'll calm down, and I really want to talk to you to get this cleared up. And it was just, no, he just wanted to yell at me and make excuses for his behavior, not take any accountability. And I get really confused when it comes to this, where we have to have patience. I'm like, I've given this person patience. He's been mean for years and years and years and years. He's said and done things to me, even as a child. And it has been, because we're 4 years apart, so he's always been 4 years older than me, and I'm smaller than he is. So it's just like, he's been a bully this entire time, and it wasn't a brotherly love bully. Like, he's thrown bikes at me. He has said things to me that were extremely hurtful. Like, nobody should say that to another person, relative or not. This went far beyond what I would say is sibling rivalry. This was malicious and mean and cruel, and he did it in the presence of other people, and he did it proudly. So it was really hard for me and to forgive him, because I always felt like, he needed to understand, and I wanted him to feel the same way, etc. And then I was like, I eventually just like, I let that go, and I forgave him. And it's the whole part where you have to, like, you have to remember that you're not battling the flesh, it's the spirit. And oh gosh, it's so hard. It's really hard. So to have him do this was just like, I'm disappointed, because you literally just called me, and then when we hung up the phone, you immediately turn around and start talking bad about me, and then you get mad at everybody else for talking to me, and then you try to tell lies about me. And I was just so, I wouldn't say I was angry, I was sad. It was hurtful, because I was like, oh, I was hoping that he was going to actually turn around. Like, he's actually going to try and put effort into it, but not immediately go back and do that. And it's just like, he does this all the time. This is how he works. And I was hoping that this time it'd be different. I wasn't expecting to see full change. I was expecting to see some, though. I was expecting to see progress. I was expecting to see him try. That's all. Just a little bit of effort. A tiny, tiny bit of effort is all. I know I can't expect changes immediately. I've learned that with my husband. That it takes time. It does, because you're breaking down a lot of things, but he put effort into it. You could see the effort. He may have fallen short. I understood that happened, but like, you could see the effort. You could see when someone is trying to make effort. because they don't want to hurt the people that they care about. They don't want to be angry all the time. They don't want to yell and scream all the time. They don't want that negativity. I hear squirrels. Like, where are they? So they do try. And again, they do fall short. I fall short sometimes. That we're human. But when you're looking at someone who is trying to be the best, trying to overcome, they put effort into it. They put effort into it and not sit there and just say, oh, you just have to accept my apology and that's all I need to do. I don't need to do any other work. I don't need to do anything else. And that's pretty much how it's been for years. Not 1 year, not 2 years, but like it's been years. I have all these critter chunks. Oh wow. I got the meat cleaver. I'm trying to get plans for my low-level character. I was going to play on her, but maybe I should switch back to her and do this later. I just have better luck on this one. Let's see what we got here. Sugar bombs. So I struggle. I do. I struggle with the whole thing. And this is where I've learned to just turn to God. And I didn't exile my brother. I didn't say anything about him. I didn't say I'm never going to talk to you again. I always let them know I'm always here if they need to talk. But I want to be spoken to respectfully and not talked down to or talked at or yelled at or blamed for his actions or to hear his excuses. Like, I don't need him to yell at me and point out my past and my flaws because I know that I've done things that I'm not proud of. But to throw my past at my face, like, I don't do that to him. I don't sit there and point out all the things that he's done to me as a kid. I don't sit there and do that to him. I don't point out those things. That stuff I've let go. I remember, but I don't hold anything against him for it because, you know, we were kids in a toxic environment. We didn't have the best childhood. My parents tried the best they could. And then on top of that, he had a traumatic experience as a child, a traumatic injury. So I give grace knowing that, you know, we're not the same and I have to be a little bit more understanding. But there's a point where you have to stop using things as an excuse and stop letting that be, stop letting that define who you are. Stop letting the things that happen to you define who you are. Stop letting the people who've hurt you define who you are. Because that's not right. And I did tell him that. I told him that we've all been through stuff. We've all been through things that were traumatic. We've all had things happen to us that we wish didn't happen. That we were angry at the people who did it to us. These people are supposed to be protectors. They're supposed to keep us safe, and they didn't. So I honestly understand, but it's not right for people to say that, but this is my excuse to treat people this way. I can treat you this way because this happened to me. I can yell, I can hit you because this happened to me. That's not okay. I've had things happen to me, and I'm not going to sit there and say it's okay for me to go after and hit somebody else just because I'm angry. That's not how it works. You control your emotions, and you talk it through like adults. We're mature. You don't go and just start hitting people. You don't just start screaming at them and berating them and belittling them and making them feel less than human. That's not okay. But that's one thing he likes to do. He likes to make a crutch, and he likes to make excuses, and that's all he does. He doesn't account or he doesn't take accountability for his actions. He doesn't say, okay, this is a problem, I need to stop and make the necessary steps to overcome the reason why he's doing it. He just makes excuses and then says, this is why I do it, and then it's okay. He does it because of this, and it's okay that he does it. He went through it, so other people have to go through it. That's essentially what he's saying. So it's just I tried to explain to him that things won't get better until he starts to forgive the people who've done him wrong. He starts to forgive all the things he's gone through, because if he keeps carrying that hatred in his heart, it's just going to keep manifesting into hatred. And that's going to bleed over into every relationship that he has. Every relationship that he has. So, I need to take out some fusion cells, because I have a new little toy on this one. I have a new... I'm not going to take out too many because they're quite heavy. So, I've got... The most heavy is that one. Everything else is pretty... So that one and that one are the heaviest, which is weird. Fuel should be more heavier than these. These are little. These are, like, pretty big. So, I'm going to try and catch an axolotl here. This is an axolotl location for the scaled axolotl. So, we're going to try and fish and see if we can catch an axolotl. I've got a couple minutes to fish with you guys on the line. Or on the stream, so we'll see what we can catch. Let's see here. I think the weather's pretty gonna be pretty warm today. This is just a common one. It is currently 75. Today is supposed to get 84. It's supposed to get hotter too this week. Not terrible, but like this Friday is supposed to be like 90. So that means that the real feel is probably going to be closer to like 95. Pretty warm. Well, it might be a day that we go swimming. Not gonna lie. I just don't like swimming in pools. That's the thing. I just get... Ugh. I get the ick from thinking about it because of the smell. You know, the chlorine smell that we fondly remember as kids was the chlorine mixing, having a chemical reaction with the urine, and that freaked me out. So, yeah, it's not going to be too bad, but it's going to be quite warm tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, is Saturday. Sunday is going to cool down a bit. And then next week we have an event to go to. We have a baseball game, and then we have a... what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's a dinner. But it's for charity. It's a charitable dinner, so it's like an event for charity. So it's going to be a car show, and they've got a dinner, and that's going to be served. You buy your tickets for the dinner, and then they're going to have things. If you're there all day, you'll have something to eat for lunch and stuff. So we've got that coming up, so I'm excited about those. And then the baseball game should be fun, and that's next Saturday. And next Saturday is going to be 84, so it's not going to be... It is going to be a 50% chance of rain, so I'm a little nervous. I am going to be keeping an eye on that. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping that the rain misses us and pushes further by a day. Then that would give us a little bit... I don't understand why it does that. That's a little irritating. I was just trying to fish, and you take that mystery damage, and then I actually had a fish that was one of the larger fish on my... I think it was on my other account. It might have been on this one, but it was one of the bigger rare fish. I had one of them on my line, and I'm thinking it was one that I needed. You can tell which ones are on when you start catching them more. But I almost had it in. It was coming in, and then all of a sudden that happens and it booted me out. I was just like, why does it do that? And then it could be like I could get hit by an enemy, and I'm sitting there still fishing and reeling it in. I don't understand that at all. Let's try improvement and see if we can catch an axolotl. They're quite cute. The scaled one is quite cute. Nope, not an axolotl, but of course it is a sawgill. Alright, one more cast, then I'll let you guys go. There we go. This will be an axolotl, please. It'd be funny if it's like a toothbrush or something. Toothbrushes fight harder than the sunscreens, and then the dirty pillows fight harder than like the red bellies or the silver sides. That's quite funny. Nope. I don't think this is an axolotl. It's coming in way too easy. Yeah, it's a walleye. Oh well. We tried. Anyway, it is time for me to get out of here. It's almost been an hour. I hope this wasn't too preachy. I know that these stories have meaning when they come to mind. And that's my intent. My intent is to give you experience from my point of view. So if you're going through something similar, it's like an indicator to say, hey, you're not alone. And you're not the only one who's trying to navigate with difficult relationships, especially when it comes to family, because the last thing we want to do is cut them out of our life, especially when it comes to our moms and dads. You know, the Bible says that we're to honor our mothers and fathers, but we're not meant to keep toxic people around. And I know you're like, but that means to say, not necessarily. We can be there. You know, we don't have to keep them around. Like, we don't have to invite them to our house. We don't have to keep them in our physical presence. And we obviously cannot let their problems become our problems. If they have something that does nothing to do with us, we can feel bad about it. Of course, it's upsetting to see that your parents going through something. But we're not a savior. We're not there to take over, and they have to do this stuff themselves. This is their path that they have to do. We can help them, but that's all that we can do. We can be there, we can offer support, but we can't do it for them. So if they have problems when it comes to this, we can't we can't really get involved with it. And it's hard because it's like, but you know, there's the Bible verses that say this, but you have to understand that we're holding space for them. We're not retaliating against them. We're not hating them. We're not forsaking them. We're praying for them. We're wanting the best for them. We're praying to God that they hear God's voice. We are talking to them, and we will call out the stuff that they do. Like, if they're doing something negative, we're going to call it out. We're going to tell them the truth. It doesn't matter who it offends. It doesn't matter. It's respectful. It's truthful. When the delivery is that, you're not like berating them and belittling them, but you're actually just saying, hey, I see that you're doing this. This is not right. This behavior is very, it's bad for you. And especially with my dad calls himself a Christian, but he's doing things that are sinful, and it's really hurting him. You can tell by the way he's acting that it's not sitting well with him. But he's continuing to do it because he gets that one instant of gratification. He gets just that little bit of gratification. And it's just like, it's not worth it. And you call it out, and then he sees it as an attack. And it's just like, I'm not attacking you. You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's going to be uncomfortable. It might offend you. But I'm like, that's my responsibility, is to tell you the truth. To be transparent and honest with you. And to let you know. And then also when it comes to Savior, you know, I was telling him about that I was asking him, please, turn to God if you're struggling with this, and just ask for forgiveness and ask for guidance on how to better help yourself, and ask God. He's going to be the one to give you that strength so that you can get out of this. You can't do it alone. You can't be like, oh, I've already been saved and all this, because you can lose your salvation. If you know something is a sin and you know better and you do it anyway, that's not okay. And I was pointing it out to him, and I was being as pleasant as I could, but it doesn't matter. They still take it as an attack, and it's the spirits that are in them, that's like really trying to deflect and stuff. So what I'm trying to say is just to be there, and to be supportive, because there's going to be a day where hopefully they see that light, and they come to you and they ask, how can I do this? And you're able to give them those resources to help them on their spiritual journey. But we can't make the decision for them. They ultimately have to. And like I told my brothers, like I forgave him. I want nothing but the best for you. But at this moment in time, I don't feel safe around you. And I can't have you in my physical presence, because all you are is angry all the time. And I don't want that negativity. I don't need that energy on me. But I will help you from afar. I still love you. You're my brother. But right now, I don't feel safe having you in my presence. I don't feel safe, especially with me and my husband rebuilding our relationship centered around Christ. I don't want anything to be introduced back into our relationship, and my brother is one that he gets very angry, and he will do anything to get back at you, and even if you've done nothing, like if you've called him out on something, he thinks that that's an attack, and then he'll try and get even with you, thinking that, oh, you said this about me, so I'm going to do this to you, and he does it even worse, So, in those instances, we just have to be strong and lean on God, and we'll let God direct our path and what we're going to do. So, I know this is a bit heavy of a broadcast. I don't mean it to be. Apparently, it needed to be said, though. Someone out there is going through something similar, and this will let you know you're not alone. We all struggle, and the one thing that I can only give advice to is to keep leaning on God, keep leaning on Christ, and meditate and pray when it comes to what you need to do, what you need to say, and God will help you get you through it. He'll get you through it. So you guys have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful day. A wonderful week if you don't see any other broadcasts going forward. And stay cool if it's hot where you are. Until next time, much love and peace be with you.